Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Virgo in July 2020. Hello, Virgo. How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. All right, fellas and ladies and anyone in between or outside the binary. What's up? How you doing? How's your life? Hopefully it's good. Still a pandemic outside, so please be safe. Please be careful as you're going out and interacting in the world, going back to work, going out to eat, going out to bars, going out and socializing, whatever you're doing. Take all the precautions that you need, Virgo, because we still very much are in the middle of a pandemic, especially here in the States. Other announcements, I'm recording this on July 4th, so happy Independence Day, happy 4th of July to my fellow Americans, my co-citizens of this fine country. Hope you guys are, if you're celebrating, again, I hope you're safe, I hope you're happy and healthy. Take all the precautions that you need to, because, you know, it's serious, baby, okay? Any other general announcements? Here on the channel, Virgo, you'll see me go live next week. That is specifically for Cancer's birthday season, so I'll be doing readings for Cancer specifically. But if you want to join me and hang out in the chat, just see how I work. If you've never seen me before do a live for anybody, you can feel free to drop by next week on July 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern is probably when I'm going to go live, okay? And anything else? No, I don't think so. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Virgo, I have shuffled off camera. That is your main spread there. Going to shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. Timestamp for that is in the description box if you want to jump ahead. You will also find the information you need in the description box to place a personal order with me. If you have questions before you place an order, just go ahead and email me at the same address and I will answer you as soon as I can. You'll also find down there the information, or excuse me, the link to my Instagram account. Right now I'm pulling oracle cards over there, interpreting them a few times throughout the week. Recently just did a pick a card for the first time, so that was kind of fun and interesting for me. And I intend to do it again in the future, so if you're interested in seeing me do that type of work, just go ahead and follow me on Instagram, okay? All right, Virgo, let's get into it. I want to see Virgo's outcome in July 2020. Outcome for Virgo in July 2020, please show me. Did that flip? No. No. All right. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. All right. Let's flip what came face down for you. All right. Okay. Okay. Better go. Let's see what's going on. Please show me where Virgo is in July 2020. Please show me Virgo in July 2020. Please show me. Wow, this is confusing. Wow. Show me Virgo, please, clearly. Show me one placement for Virgo. Please show me. All right, it's the most clear. However, if I'm honest, you're all over the place. So when I say that, I mean, like, energetically, I couldn't really pinpoint you. They were having a hard time, you know, selecting a situation, a placement for you. So Virgo, I get the sense that your emotions are haywire, but I could be wrong. Let's just start and see where we go. So coming in, Virgo, you come in with the Three of Cups. Well, about to eat my words. Some of you are dealing in a third-party situation. Now, you guys know, if you've been with me for a minute, Jay doesn't hop on that train immediately. It has to contextually feel correct for me to just immediately state that, and that still feels super correct for a good portion of you. Now, third-party situation, however, I will clarify, I will give you the caveat that it doesn't always mean a cheating scenario, a romantic entanglement, a sexual entanglement. That could play in some of your situations, and if it does, I think the majority of you already know that is what's going on. Others of you, it's like too much time at work. This could be an issue with some type of addiction or someone being in a negative state of mind. And so they invite in these negative energies or negative people in your life. It could be friends and family. It doesn't have to be cheating. So open your mind to that. But the bulk of this is about interference, Virgo. This is about things that you want to be a certain type of way and they're not going that certain type of way. This could be a development in a romantic situation. These two people on this card, they do look intimately intertwined, right? They do look like they know each other in the biblical way, but they could be, you know, like dance partners or something like that, and that can still play. This can be relative to your professional career. It doesn't have to be, you know, again, a romantic relationship. So you could have a partner of a business type, of a performance art type who, you know, things are just out of whack with that person. And that's what this feels like. It feels like there's a lot of disarray around a particular connection, or the rhyme and the reason, or the trajectory of a situation is being rerouted, or it's come into some type of dysfunction or interception or interference, right? You have had expectations, or the other person, it is a general, so it can go vice versa, but there's something about what was expecting to make, you know, as sort of the artwork here kind of depicts, expecting to make beautiful music together, expecting to, you know, choreograph a dance together, or work together intimately on a passion project, on a business project, work together intimately in a relationship, create a household, create a family, create something together. I do get the sense of what you're expecting to create, especially if it involves a partner of any type, or the not the interference, but the contribution, thank you, of another person or other people. It's like they're not pulling their weight, or you're not pulling your weight, or there's complications involving personal matters that are interfering, because again, that can be that third party situation. You have a business partner, everything is peachy keen between you and that person, but if they suffer some type of tragedy in their personal life, or they come into some type of pressing issue that takes away their energy or their focus on your project, the work that you have set up together, it all kind of falls by the wayside. So it's going to play in so many different ways. So I just want people to, again, expand your mind on what a third party situation can mean when we talk about it in tarot. It's very easy to say, you know, that it does involve, you know, infidelity, which is true for those that you are aware. You're aware if it's about infidelity. Don't force this idea of a cheating scenario in your copacetic marriage or your copacetic relationship if it's not there already. Don't fill in these blanks with things that aren't there. If there is a disruption in your relationship that doesn't involve an outside person, it's, again, something that you or the other person carries within them on a personal level. They're struggling with something, they feel inundated, or they've been, their energy has been called away because of some other issue in another area of their life. Does that make sense? Okay. Regardless of what you're doing, this sucks, because your expectation, Virgo, has been, I don't want to say it's high, but I think it's been, what's that word? Consistent. It's been consistent. You haven't changed your expectations in the matter. You've had a goal in mind. You've had a project that you've wanted to complete. You've had a vision of what your relationship would look like, etc., etc., etc. Your expectations have just been known to you, and probably also known to your partner or whoever is on the other side of this issue. But the complication is coming in that things are changing, or this interference has changed what they can bring to the table, or what you can offer as a resolution to any complications. Okay, I'm feeling a lot of friction. I'm feeling a lot of contention. I'm feeling a lot of discrepancy, or just differences of opinion, and things are changing. And Virgo, you're a mutable sign, so change to you is not foreign. However, because you're an earth sign, change to you is not necessarily your go-to move. Earth is the slowest of all the elements in terms of tarot and those types of aspects. So change, if you think about it, with the Earth can happen over time, like, basic like geology, is that right? Geoscience, something like that, where like something like erosion can happen over hundreds of years or several decades or something like that. But then also, to counter my own point, the Earth can also change suddenly in the sense of like, God forbid, like a huge weather catastrophe or something like that, like a hurricane or something like that. And even then, something like a hurricane, it doesn't usually pop up overnight. At least where I live in the United States, there are hurricane warnings that come out like days or weeks in advance. We're tracking Weather Storm Joaquin, and it's churning over the Caribbean, and it's coming up the coast, and it's going to hit Florida in 5 days. They say stuff like that. So even though these again in the context of Earth, Virgo being an Earth sign, changes, upheavals, quick and very damaging changes is not usually what an Earth sign likes to deal with. But when it happens, there's usually some type of foresight. I hope you get what I'm saying. So even though things are in an upheaval within this Three of Cups energy, you already knew, or you've already had an inkling. Your little disaster detector has been beeping, beep, 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 beep. This is not sudden. This third party situation. You saw it coming. You've seen it develop, and as can be your way sometimes, Virgo, I feel you didn't necessarily, not in all cases, but in some cases you didn't really recalibrate, and now you're suffering because of it. This is not a blame. This is what I'm feeling energetically. If it doesn't apply to you, don't force it on your life. This is not me pointing a finger and saying, well, that's what you get. That's not my role here. My role is to interpret what I'm feeling. And what I'm feeling is looking at a situation, holding the same expectations, even though you can tell that something in the air is changing. It's basically like watching the news, watching the Weather Channel that says Hurricane Joaquin or Hurricane Sandra or whatever the hell is coming, and you're not taking any precautions to prepare for that hurricane. Okay? For those where you had warning signs that something wasn't right on your end, something wasn't right on the other person's end, something wasn't, gelling in the situation, in the vibe, period, and you didn't change your expectations or change how you behaved, it becomes this. It becomes this torturous feeling, this Ten of Swords feeling. Now, in traditional tarot, what we usually see is someone being stabbed in the back in this Ten of Swords. Someone being left for dead with 10 swords sticking out of their back and all that good stuff. I'm being facetious when I say that. Here, I take this as a personal problem, essentially. There's still these elements of feeling betrayed and stabbed in the back, and I acknowledge that some of you are going to feel that way. But who is primarily suffering, or where are these swords coming from? It's like, if I'm honest, I feel like this is this is sort of, oh God. I don't want you guys to take this like I'm blaming you, because I'm not. But what I'm really seeing is, what they're showing me is, in that scenario where the hurricane is coming or some great natural disaster is befalling a town, and someone heard the news, someone saw their neighbors pack up and evacuate, someone saw local businesses boarding up and all these things happening, and this is the person who stayed in the town, stayed in their home, and watched their home become flooded, while other people changed the parameters or changed their behavior. This is, in some sense, self-induced torture, self-induced pain, because you ignored the warning signs. And if it's not you, it could be the other person. Or if it's not, either one of you, it could be both of you together, or however many people are involved in this situation. But that Ten of Swords is not someone only attacking you. This is like like even the posture of this person, and I'm not trying to call anybody crazy, but look at how their arms are wrapped around themselves. It's giving me like this vibe of like a straitjacket. And then the line that goes behind the person's head here, this bold line behind them, and how they're coming out of it, it's like a mental prison. Like I keep sensing this idea of mental prison. And Virgo, you are you are the sign of analysis paralysis. You will think and think and think on a situation. You'll analyze and analyze and analyze and run the schematics and run all the possibilities, trying to find a solution that ends up with you kind of circling the drain. I've been saying that all day. A lot of signs have been in that energy of circling the drain, of being so inundated with your thoughts, or so worried about the details, or so consumed with trying to find a solution that you don't actually muster up any type of action. You remain inactive. Another way to think of this, if you're at a proctored exam, say something like the SATs when you were in high school, or any other entrance exam for college or something like that, you've got 60 minutes to fill out 100 questions. After 60 minutes, if you've only answered 89, you automatically lose 11 points. Does that make sense? So there's something about, because you've not properly used your time, your resources, or you or the other person have been stuck in your mind and not actually producing anything, any actual change to deal with what you already knew was coming. Like some of you had like a lot of warning about this, I'm getting. And it's, okay, here it is. Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe you were watching your partner, business partner, romantic partner, friend, whatever this is, whoever you're in this Three of Cups with, as there's two people on the card, right? Maybe you're watching them kind of deal with whatever they're dealing. Aha, there it is. That's where this is coming from. I'm like, it's going to sound like I'm blaming you, but I'm not. Because if it's affecting the other person, what can you do? What can you do? If this person is having personal struggles, let's say the issue on your partner side, the person that you want to do business with, their issue is their finances, their own finances. Maybe something happened in their life, a huge medical expense popped up. Maybe there was, God forbid, like I was mentioning before, a huge issue with their homeowner's insurance because of natural disasters, and they're just like tied up. Financially, they're tied up. You are, I'm assuming in that situation, most people are not in a position to step up and say, well, here's $60,000 from my own personal money that's going to solve your problems, that's going to allow you and me to continue to do business together, right? You may have thought of that, like, man, if I had the money, would I give it to, whatever. But because there was nothing you could do, because the issue is on the other person, it's their issue, it's their problem, it's their thing to sort out. What could you do, right? Other than stand by. So in some of your cases, it's a matter of your hands were basically tied. You had no power in the situation, or your power was limited. Let's say it that way. If not no power, your power was limited, or your effect on the situation was limited. Your impact was limited. In other cases, you had the wheel in hand. You were at the driver's seat and you didn't do anything with it. So now you suffer. God, that sounds kind of heavy, but that's what this feels like. You're suffering mentally, emotionally, in some of your cases spiritually and or physically. I feel a lot of tension in your neck, in your back, tension, headaches or migraines coming from you or the other person. This is an ailing situation, or the dynamic between you two or three or however many people are in this situation is ailing. It's sickly. It's not healthy. There you go. That's the better way to say it. It's not healthy. Yikes. So what else is going on? Stand still. Wow. Okay. Stand still. Okay. Time out. Stand still. So we've got a lot of players, and I think everybody's opting to do this thing. We're going to talk about the different players in a minute. But for now, I think everybody is here. Whoever's involved, you, one other person, 15 other people, I don't care how many. Four of Swords. Time out. You see these men who are most likely making a journey across the desert, and they've kind of taken time to rest. They're laying down their swords, so they're not, out on adventures or defending the campsite. They're just chilling, right? And for the most part, that kind of feels like what you want more than anything. You just want a rest from whatever this drama is, whatever this complication is, whatever is bothering you, whatever is causing this friction in your life. You just want it to go away. So in some of your cases, my guys are being a little sassy. They're like, you're playing the world's smallest little violin, and you're just like, in the context where, for a few of you, oh man, this is such a shitty thing for me to say, but this is how they're having it come across. For those where this is like third party in like that romantic sense, where this is about a partner that has stepped out, whether you were the one that stepped out or your partner stepped out on you and went to someone else, whatever. There's like, whoever was the one who was cheated on is playing the world's smallest violin. That's what they want me to say. It's like looking for pity, looking for people to sympathize. And that's fine. I understand that motivation. But recall what I said about this warning sign, about watching the Weather Channel, knowing there's a hurricane coming towards your town, and you're not doing anything but staying in your house. Granted, there's a pandemic, so that kind of makes sense. But you know, I'm being facetious with that. But that's kind of what they're saying. You saw the signs, and you let it. No. That's the wrong phrasing. I'm not going to say let it happen. Or maybe you did. Wow, this is sad. Listen, because now they're showing, oh my God, I don't like that. Because now they're showing me someone, and I've been in this situation before, where I saw with my own eyes, and I still stayed. That was young Jay. That was over 20 years ago. What a fool I was, okay? But I've been in that situation. I saw it with my own eyes, and I continued to be in that relationship. Some of you have had that experience. You saw it with your own eyes. Now, put me, current Jay, in that situation, wouldn't happen. Couldn't happen. Can't allow it. Nope. Been there, done that. Didn't like it, right? So this Four of Swords is coming in as this time of reflection. Maybe there's a pause in the action. Maybe this is because of coronavirus that, with stay-at-home orders, maybe this has put a pause in whatever the third party was about. Especially for those where this is about like an outside relationship in a particular dynamic, right? It has put a kibosh on the whole thing, right? Or put a pause in it, put a pin in it at least, right? And so some of you have seen, maybe not seen, but it's like I'm sensing, let's go back to March. I don't even know what your message was in March on my channel. I have no idea. But let's just say everything was going kind of haywire in March. But then stay-at-home orders happened, and you and your significant other, Virgo, you are now together in your home. And you or they, whoever is the one stepping out, can't go see the other person, can't engage in that energy as much as you used to. And now it's like this long-standing Four of Swords. It's like a ceasefire or like a, to be continued kind of energy. And you are appreciating that it's a, to be continued, and it's like you're grateful that it's not happening, but you also want it to stop happening. And this is a lot. This is a lot, right? And same could be for like a business relationship or a friendship relationship where maybe there was tension, maybe your friend was having personal issues, not financially, but maybe they were having personal issues mentally, given that this is the Ten of Swords, so they could have had a mental breakdown in some form or fashion. They could have gone through some type of tumultuous or traumatic experience within their family, within their personal life. And you're grateful that it's not devolved to a certain extent or it didn't get to a certain point, but you also don't want to go, thank you. When all is said and done and this rest period is over, you don't want to go back to this misery. You want the misery to stop. But in the meantime of this rest, I don't know that there's been much change going on, right? So last time you talked to your business partner, they said they stepped away from the company, they stepped away from the startup, and they said, Virgo, dear Virgo, in an email or a text or something like that, I'm going through so much involving my kids and, my personal life, and I've got some financial issues I need to take care of, and I'll speak to you soon about what's going to happen going forward, blah, 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 blah. They sent that to you back in May, let's say, or April or something like that, and you haven't heard from this person. in that context. Maybe there's been, hi, how are you, check-ins, but we haven't talked about the crux of the matter, the core of the matter has not been addressed. Again, for those where you saw with your own two eyes that your partner was having a little side biscuit action, and you have confronted them, or maybe you haven't confronted them, but you saw it. But because there's a pause in the action, thanks Corona, right? Because there's a pause in the action, you're willing to sweep it under the rug. Don't be that person, Virgo. Don't let me tell you what to do. You do what you want. But I sense that some of you are willing to let it go, let bygones be bygones, and keep on with the same thing. But I'm telling you, if you don't address it, because the Four of Swords isn't a point of addressing, it's personal reflection. Each of these four men who are pictured in this card are reflecting on their own journey. They're not really saying, hey Tom, or hey Sanjeet, or whoever you are, tell me about all. It's not communicative with other people. It's about self-reflection. And I'm telling you, in your self-reflection, you don't want to go back here, but let it all go back to quote unquote normal tomorrow. You would go immediately back into this Ten of Swords energy if you don't address why this Ten of Swords happened, why this Three of Cups was going on. If you don't get to the nooks and crannies of it, or let it go, walk away from the situation, you're doomed to repeat this. So, who's at play here? What's going on? Who are these people that we see here? Because you're bound to be one of them, most likely. Yeah. All right. So, I get the sense that there's been a loyalty that has backfired. There's been a loyalty that's backfired. Queen of Cups. Water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You could be dealing with a water sign, but you don't have to be. It is a general. Take all the signs that I mentioned aside from your own with a grain of salt, okay? But Queen of Cups energy. There's a tender-heartedness here. Could be coming from you, could be coming from the other person, could be the third-party person who, again, doesn't have to be a romantic entanglement. It can be a family member, a mutual friend, can be someone you've never even met. Whoever is the third party, you don't even have to know that person. You may never have met them. Or it doesn't even have to be a singular person. It could be a group of people. It can be, like I told you, your partner, whoever they are, their entire family, or their best friend who you don't even know. It doesn't matter. But someone in the story is loyal to a fault. Queen of Cups energy. Overly giving, overly forgiving, overly compassionate, possibly offering a shoulder to cry on more often than they should. But more to the point, this person is sensitive. They don't have to be a woman, even though it is a queen. And again, they don't have to be a water sign. But this person might be overly sentimental. Overly sentimental. They might have a lot of dreams and fantasies of what life should be or what life could be. And they kind of stick to that, and they kind of try to uphold that. And it kind of doesn't serve them because it skirts reality, or it tries to avoid reality. You know, to go back to that scenario of somebody who's just going to weather the storm of a huge natural disaster. This person, for whatever reason, believes they're okay if they stay in their home despite this big storm, this big hurricane hurling towards their town. They're just like, it's okay. I feel safe in my home. Or they're like, I don't even have anywhere else to go. You know, whatever. If it was literally that, and someone has a home, but they don't have family, they don't have resources, they don't have money, they have no way to leave, right? So it could be that. It could be that this person has no other reprieve. They have no other option, or at least that's how they possibly perceive themselves or perceive the situation. Regardless, highly sensitive person. So this person might be, God, I just lost the word. There you go. This person might be empathic. Thank you. This person might be a little bit psychic. They might have some angle in the light workers community. They could be a psychic, a medium, a tarot reader, a Reiki master, whatever. I like this person's energy. I like their heart, but there's a little bit of a naivete there. There's a little bit of a, you should know better, especially being a queen. Queen and king are masters of their respective suits. So this person is masterful in the art of loving, in the art of care and nurture, but they also lack, or rather, yeah, unfortunately at this time, thank you, at this time, they lack self-preservation. So they sacrifice a lot and they shouldn't. Okay? What else is going on? Who else is here? The Temptress is here. Princess of Wands, aka the Page of Wands. So the Temptress is here. And I'm saying Temptress with, tongue in cheek. There's a female on this card, and I'm using that word Temptress, but this could be a male. So fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. They don't have to be a fire sign, but this person is certainly sultry, right? The look on her face, the the placing of the wands between her breasts. It's all very, you know what she's alluding to. So as a page, or as a Princess of Wands, male or female, again, fire sign or not, this is someone in the story who is super passionate, who is super seductive or flirty, and possibly does so in a natural way. Like, this person might do these things and they don't know that they're doing it. In other cases, they do. In other cases, they do. They knew what they were doing, or they know what they're doing right now. But the point is, there's vibrancy in this energy. There is this alluring energy. It's very, come hither, like meet me here. Like, see, sliding into somebody's DMs, meet me here. Just like, boom, no context. 7 p.m., meet me here. 10:30, here's the address. I'll see you then. Knowing that they're laying out the biggest piece of bait and someone's going to fall for it. Now, again, that's specific to, these romantic entanglements. There can be temptations in other ways besides sexual. This could be someone who, going back to this Three of Cups, the complication could have been a financial bind. This could be somebody who is flush with cash. This could be a loan shark. This could be a friend who is lending a helping hand and doesn't necessarily want anything back, but because they've been so giving, or because they've offered, this amount of money to help someone in a pinch, like I said, the Queen of Cups might feel overly sacrificial or overly indebted to this person. Just to play devil's advocate for a moment, this Princess of Wands might not actually want anything in return, might just be a good person and offer their advice, or offer some help to a person. But the Queen of Cups maybe feels indebted to this person, or the King of Pentacles. We'll see who it is. I'm not sure which way the temptation is going, to be honest. This person can be a temptation towards the Queen of Cups and or the King of Pentacles. I'm not sure. But their role here as the Princess of Wands is to be sort of this they are this injection of passion, of vibrancy, of correction. What? Correction, as in like offering a solution, where whoever has been involved previously, they had no bright ideas, they had no sort of creative solutions to the problem. This person comes along, well, have you ever thought of this? And it's like, bells go off in somebody else's head, or they're like, oh my God, you're a genius. And the Princess of Wands is like, am I? Okay, sure. Or they might cockily go, or very, very arrogantly go, yeah, I know. I am a genius. Absolutely. For sure. So in general, the detractor of this person's personality is that kind of cocksure attitude. It is this kind of egotistical leaning of, I know what I want, or I know what I'm about, and I'm just going to go ahead and get mine. And it can be a little self-focused. It can be quite egotistical and self-absorbed. Thank you. That's the word I want. Self-absorbed. Even in the midst of helping somebody. Like, this is somebody who gets off on helping people. If they're, coming from this, oh, I'm just trying to help. It's like they feign and they make a big deal out of being altruistic. And it's like the genuineness of this person is a little suspect. And they might, in some of the cases, they might want something in return. They might hold it over your head. Like, oh, that's sleazy. Um, let's say this person did offer someone financial help, and I'll help you out of a bind, male or female, it doesn't matter. And then, days or weeks later, you hear from this person. So remember when I, like, I lent you all that money, and that really got you out of a jam, and whoever is receiving the cash from this person, this is just an example, they go, oh yeah, thank you, I have no way of repaying you, I wish there was something I could do for you, da 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 da. Like, this person might hold that over someone's head, and they might use it as an advantage or as a way in for sexual favor. Maybe. I don't wish that is the case for anybody, but that's a reality that someone might be living through. Okay, the final player, or at least in this reading that has come up, is the King of Pentacles. Earth sign energy, Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. Why did I say it that way? Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus? It's usually Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Interesting. I normally say things in patterns, so I find that interesting that I said it that way. Anyway, In that scenario that I just mentioned, specific to those dealing with business, this could be the backer of this person, or aka the King of Pentacles could be the person who actually holds all the money, and the Princess of Wands is just out there throwing that money away. What do I mean? This could be like a young person, or something about in a few of your cases, the Princess of Wands answers to the King of Pentacles. So it's almost like a I said this earlier in someone's reading. Oh no, I said this in the live that I did last week. I did a live last Sunday, and there was some mention of the word trust fund baby. And that could be kind of what I'm vibing off of here. This could be like the person who actually has the wealth, the person that actually has, the dollars in the bank, and this is someone who's like spending that person's money or offering this person's resources, even though they're not really in possession of. Does that make sense? That might make sense for like one or two of you. Anyway, more to the point, the King of Pentacles is known to have stability, is known to be somebody who can stand on their own 2 feet in terms of finances and resources and physical material things of importance in life. Yeah. But because of his eye line, like look at his eye line and look at the smile on his face. He's kind of looking off to the left a little bit. And if we put him down on the table, he's kind of smirking or leering at the Princess of Wands. So like I said, the Princess of Wands could be a temptation to the King of Pentacles and not to the Queen of Cups. I don't know which way it's going, but there is this, I think the King of Pentacles is sitting on a boatload of resources in some form or fashion, or they're sitting on something that's really firm, and they run the risk of losing it, or they run the risk of incurring some kind of damage to it if they don't get their head right. I get the sense that this person is playing a little, like, honestly, okay, remember when I was saying that the Queen and the Kings in any suit are the masters, but I was saying that the Queen is kind of putting herself at risk, and she's kind of, kind of making silly mistakes. I feel the same thing is going on with the King of Pentacles. Silly mistakes. I feel maybe both parties, or one versus the other, could be getting played by somebody. To throw in that old trope, that old stereotypical trope, this could be an older couple or an already established couple, and then a pretty young thing bats her eyelashes at the guy in the situation, and he's all, head over heels, and the wife is sitting home sobbing, knowing that her husband is cheating on her. Does that, I'm not trying to say that is exactly it, but it's like that. It's like, you're in your 50s, Gary. What does this 29-year-old woman or 26-year-old woman want to do with you? What do you think she wants from you? It's like literally like somebody is a gold digger in some cases. Not all, just some. Or maybe one or two. Who knows? So King of Pentacles and Queen of Cups, they're both out of their mastery. They're not acting like the masters they should be. Because I'm telling you, when I read tarot, Queen and King pretty much co-creators, or excuse me, not co-creators, but co-partners in power, in mastery, in owning the element that they represent, or the suit that they represent, rather, right? And I feel this Princess of Wands, and the Princess of Wands, let me clarify, it doesn't even have to be a person. It could just be an energy. This energy could, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to use this word, be infecting the Queen of Cups or the King of Pentacles. Meaning, everything that I said about this Princess of Wands could apply specifically to the King of Pentacles or specifically to the Queen of Cups. So these two people could be acting immaturely. These two people could be in a highly sexualized mindset, or they could be throwing themselves out there, even though they're in a committed relationship, right? There might not be any actual third party in the situation, but someone's acting like they're single, even though they're not. Does that make? I hope that makes sense. It's like, yeah, I think you get it. So, what's the outcome, Virgo? Oy. Temperance. Major arcana for Sagittarius. Could be dealing with a Sagittarius or not at all. It is a general. So this situation needs some healing. This situation needs some balance. This situation, more to the point, Virgo, you need balance. You need healing. You're the client. You're the person I'm addressing more specifically than anybody else. So wherever you are in this situation, you need a little bit of get right in your life. You need some peace. You need some calmness. You need some serenity. You need to make use of any type of pause, any type of rest and relaxation or respite that you have in the situation, and find healing and balance to get yourself off on a better foot. I feel as though there are lingering dysfunctions or festering issues that have gone unaddressed, and if you allow them to continue to go unaddressed, it's only going to make things worse. Temperance faces the adversity, not strongly. It's not like a burst of, today I'm going to face all of my problems and I'm going to get to the bottom of all my issues. It's not that warrior cry. Temperance is more subtle. Temperance is more patient, or gentle, I should say. It's a gentler energy. I mean, if you look at this, it's a maiden standing by a body of water, chilling outside. No bra, no top. She's just out there, So there's like this release. Yes, it's like a release, but then also you're pulling in. So you release the crap, you pull in the peace. You release the drama, you pull in the resolution. You release possibly the person, if it's gotten to that point. You release the person, you bring in self-awareness and self-contentment, right? There is a balancing to this, because the other part of the Temperance card is alchemy, balancing two elements that are not necessarily easy to balance or easy to find some type of common ground amongst, right? It's not easy work. None of this reading has been easy, but I think you can do it if you want to. There's a lot you need to reflect on. There's a lot you need to understand in the situation about what you contribute, what other people contribute, and how to get to the bottom of it, yeah? Overall, energy is the Five of Swords. Now, traditionally speaking, Five of Swords is about conflict and chaos and people, causing a kerfuffle and arguments and disagreements and whatnot. But what do we see here? We see somebody laid flat on their back, no contest. So overall, I think you've let a lot of shit fly, Virgo. And Virgos, I've known a fair amount of you in my life, and a lot of you are not confrontational people. A lot of you are, oh man, I should have said that when they said this to me. Like, you think about it afterwards, or you go and you replay the events and you think of all the things that you should have said when that person was getting in your face, or the things that you should have said because that's how you really felt at the time. But because you're trying to be a peacekeeper, or because, you got stuck in your own head and you couldn't really articulate your words, you end up missing opportunities to sort of assert yourself. Not all Virgos, some of you. And this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing someone who hasn't asserted themselves in the situation, and their ability to speak their piece is wanting. It needs to be improved upon, or it needs to be conceptualized and utilized for the first time ever. Like, again, they're showing me someone playing the smallest tiny little violin, and I'm seeing like this person who's like a victim, like has been a victim their entire life. They've let people steamroll them their entire life. And I mean, if that isn't the posture of somebody who is in the business of being steamrolled, I don't know what is. So you or someone else needs to stand up for themselves in the situation, okay? Virgo, that is your reading for July. I'm not sure that you would like it, but if you did, if you found something that resonated, there is a like button down below, and you can leave a comment to let me know how this plays out in your life, or what parts of the message really resonated with you. That would be super cool. Feel free to share the video, let other people know that you like watching my stuff here on the internets, and feel free to subscribe, my friends, if you haven't subscribed already. That would also be super, super cool. Like I said at the top, Virgo, I will be going live next week on July 11th. If you want to go ahead and have a little peeky peek at what Cancer's up to during their birthday season, you can feel free to drop by and hang out in the chat. If not, I'll be back soon with your mid-July messages and then your August messages after that. If you did want to get a personal reading, that information is down in the description box, okay? Virgo, I thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Take care.